Okay, so it's been a hot minute since I've been on my cruise. Back. No, Asher, please. I went on my cruise the first week of April and it's now like the middle of June. So it's been a while. But I feel like that's kind of good because then I can have time to reflect and think about this because this is my first cruise. A lot of people go on cruises at the time of the year or it's like all those crazy stuff. That was my first cruise. I probably won't go on a cruise for another hot minute. Like after the cruise, we're like obviously like, oh my God, yeah, I enjoyed it. But like, did you enjoy it? Like you gotta have time to sit there and think about it. Would you go do it again? Or are you just saying that because you spent a lot of money and you know your parents spent a lot of money? So it's like, you just gotta say you like this. But in all reality, I loved the cruise. Go back any day. And we actually went on the cruise in the first place because my grandpa died and the money he left in his will for us. We spent some of it to go on the cruise, but it ended up being half the people in the family didn't go on the cruise because the money in the will split half of us up. That's a long story, but anyways, I went on a week-long cruise and this was basically how my cruise went. Now, before the cruise, I was super excited. I could not wait. I could not wait to get tan, go to Puerto Rico. I was so excited. And it did live up to my expectations. There were a lot of things that didn't live up to my expectations, but then other things that exceeded it. So, and then of course, on the airplane, I did fall asleep after begging for the window seat. I did fall asleep. Anytime I'm literally moving in a car, an airplane, like whatever it is, I'm going to fall asleep. And then the next day we got on board to the cruise ship, which was a process. Like, oh my God, that was miserable. But then my grandma got a scooter. Now granted, she can walk. She can't walk, but it's just a lot of walking for her. So she had to get the scooter and we all had a field day with that.
When your legs don't work like they used to before.
And then the first night we got there was dance-offs and there was like 50-year-old men and women up there shaking their butt on the ground. Like, did not expect that. Like, my dad could not get out there and do that, but it was so entertaining to watch because those 50-year-old women could shake it more than me. And that first day, there was a family feud competition on the ship, and my mom was like, "We got into this family feud competition. I like it. I'm competitive. Let's do it." And I was like, "No way am I getting up on stage in front of hundreds of people and doing family feud." But then she got in my head, and I was like, "I'm gonna do it. Like, what are the chances we even get on?" And then once I was convinced I wanted to do it, I wanted to win. The audition process for this family feud was you basically had to go through a huge line of families and you took a picture, one serious picture and one funny picture. Now the serious picture, obviously we just smiled. The funny picture, we had my dad spanking my mom's butt and all of us kids were like making a gross face or like covering my sister's eyes. Great idea. In my opinion, great idea. And only like half of those families went through the second round and we would get a letter on our doorstep the next day. It was very serious. We did get a letter outside our door on the second day, so I felt very special. It all depended on those photos. If they thought you'd be like creative or funny enough, I'm not really sure. Went to the second round of auditions and this time you're like on stage. It was a lot more hurrah. You had to have a team captain. My team captain was my brother and he went on stage and he basically went through small little rounds of family feud and whoever won those rounds went on to the actual show. Process of elimination. My brother lost the first round so he did not make it. Very devastating for something that I could not care less about to something that I was like, I need to be on the show and I need to win. So maybe I shouldn't have gotten too invested because the second he lost I actually was devastated, but okay, I'm still gonna be sour about it sometimes. And then the first night there is a photo that was taken, and when I say it was truly a $27 photo, it was a $27 photo. So the first night, my sister packed suitcases with my dad to save money. And in that suitcase was his bag of M&Ms. Me and my sister in our room decided to open up that bag of M&Ms and eat the M&Ms. And we took a picture of all of us hanging out in the room, me and my cousins, and I had my hands in the bag of M&Ms. So hours later, my dad comes in and he goes to get a suitcase and he goes, "Y'all don't eat my M&Ms, did you?" Joking. We go, yeah. Knowing that in the next few minutes, like chaos was about to ensue. A few minutes later, we get a knocking on our door. We're terrified. My sister goes up to get the door, opens it, it's pitch black on our room. All you can see is a silhouette of my dad and the light shining in. And he's like, "Y'all ate my M&Ms." And he is mad. He is mad. I'm panicked. I'm laughing out of nervousness because I know we just ate his M&Ms and that's the first night of the cruise. The next day we go down and see if there's a candy shop. We can buy him some M&Ms. Like I am desperately searching for some M&Ms. $27 for some freaking M&Ms. For literally like this much M&Ms. Like I'm not joking. That is a mistake I'll never make again. But the first port day was in San Juan, Puerto Rico. This is honestly probably like my least favorite day of all the ports, but it was still so fun. It was so pretty. We took so many pictures. But obviously my grandma has her scooter, so she cannot scoot around everywhere. So while we're sightseeing, she had to stay in one spot. We come back searching for her, like where is Mimo? We are looking everywhere, cannot find Mimo. We finally find Mimo. Mimo is sitting there in her scooter with 30 birds around her. this cannot be real. Like, she's already made friends with the people in Puerto Rico. The second port day, we were in Dominican Republic. This was my favorite day. I loved the state. It was so pretty there. Personally, in my mind, in my idea of how San Juan looked and Dominican Republic, I thought they were swapped. I thought San Juan was gonna be green and beautiful. It just wasn't like that. It was more like a downtown area, and the DR was very green and vibrant, and the saturation was like turned up to 100. It was beautiful. That day we went up like a 2-mile hike, we jumped down waterfalls, and also recently we found out that whole thing was on Amazing Race. And then right after we did that, we went ziplining, and that was, again, so beautiful. These pictures of me, I look awful. Like, I'm not looking at the camera, I look great. It's not very flattering, but at least I was having fun. Let me tell you, the guys there, like me and my sister, jaw on the floor. You're just sitting there with our helmets on, geared up in zipline gear, which you know is not attractive and not flattering. And guys walk by and they're like, "Hola, mi amor." Like, brightest, whitest teeth, so attractive. The charisma these guys had, I know I was blushing. I was like, why hello, like, oh my god. The third port day, we were in Turks and Caicos, and this day we went scuba diving. I loved the scuba diving. I had so much fun. But before scuba diving, really, obviously, like, we want pictures of this. Like, no one's here to take pictures. We want our own pictures. We want water-resistant cases to take underwater. These are some of the most unflattering pictures, videos I've ever seen of myself. You know when you're picturing scuba diving and how pretty and the water's so blue and like, oh, it's just so aesthetic. Jumping in the water, I see all of these people struggling off the boat. They look like they're treading water. They're exhausted. I'm thinking, listen, we're from the beach. We got it. Like, no issues. I jump in the water, and 5 minutes later, I feel like I've been working out for 2 hours. I don't know what it is about scuba diving. It was exhausting, so tiring. We were only out there for 20 minutes. I feel like I had been working out for hours. But after scuba diving, we went and docked the boat, went and hung out with the stingrays. They fed the stingrays, and then I went and hung out with the stingray. Every single time, like, you go to give it a kiss, and you would like lean up, and they would give it a kiss. So sweet, so cute. He decided to let it give me a back rub, and I was like, oh, like, yeah, sure, like, let it give me a back rub. He's telling me to pull my hair to the side, and this stingray literally starts going around my back. I can feel it. It's slimy. It's like touching me. It was definitely a cool experience. I don't know if I want it to happen again. But let me tell you, after we got off the boat and we went back to the cruise ship, we ate, and I was passed out for like 6 hours. And my sister got like one of the most unattractive pictures of me ever. I definitely was not expecting how many people, like, I knew the cruise carried a lot of people. Like, I'm not trying to sound stupid. I definitely should have more pools. They had like one main pool on the top deck, and that was like it. You basically had a couple other small pools in small areas, but they were just so crowded all the time. So yeah, definitely was just not expecting to be that limited pools. It's constantly crowded. It's constantly drunk people yelling, so many people around you. Just a lot going on. Like, chairs, more tanning chairs, all that crap. I know they have a lot on there, but they should have more. That was my 7-day cruise ship experience, I guess. Anyways, that was everything. So hope it was enjoyable.